So there could maybe be some motivation there, and RNG just gonna go for the Tide Hunter.
Hmm.
So what is this? Is this now a mid Mars, perhaps? Are they or position one Mars? Or they may be bumping him up the priority
10
list a little
seconds
bit?
remaining.
Seems like it. It looks pretty
Yeah.
weird to me. Uh,
5 seconds
I
remaining.
the reason why not only that, but even you mentioned earlier on in the draft that they kind of wanted to set a pace, a kind of tempo that wouldn't allow the game to be so slow up
Well,
against.
they could, but it
Right.
seems like they're taking a different approach now. I
Yeah.
think they're trying to go blow for blow, and I don't know if they're now angling to try and grab like a Morphling last grab or something, but just one of these potentially, I guess more than likely mid lane, but also could be a safe laner that's just going to beat the be all end all carry for this game, or at least be able to go toe to toe with the Spectre in the later stages.
Sure. Well, IG, they'll have a think about this fourth pickup now. Perhaps maybe they did want the tide for JT again. He had a great performance last game, but they'll have a think about it, see what else is on the table, and it'll take a bit of
Um,
time, it seems. But
I mean, if you wanted to make the train a 3, then you could make Phoenix a 5, and you could pick the Rubik again. It's a pretty good Rubik game,
that's true.
in all honesty, and Kaka had a heck of a performance last game. So
I wouldn't blame
I,
him.
I would not complain, but it depends on the comfort levels in promoting either the Phoenix or the Train Protector to a core. Though I think that would work, perfectly fine. Either one of these two heroes getting bumped up a little.
Yeah, I mean the Pos 3 Trian, like you talked about Fnatic running it. It was more than them as well. I can't really remember the teams that were running it, but there was quite a bit of that offlane Trian going on. And instead, IG they're gonna ignore the Rubik for now. They go after the Void Spirit, which I believe should be the mid pickup here
Yeah.
for emo, which tells me that either we're looking for a JT here on the offlane or potentially still another position 4.
Yeah, they've still got a ton of flex in this draft, which
10
is
seconds
pretty
remaining.
cool. Other than the Spectre being position 1, nothing is
5
really
seconds remaining.
completely set in stone just yet. Though I'm with you in thinking that the Void Spirit is probably more than likely going to be the mid pickup. And I'm just looking at the RNG draft and thinking about the possibility of Void Spirit Ags this game, and the Ags is just backbreaking if you're RNG in this spot. Like the potential for Tide not to be able to get the Ravage off in a way that he wants,
Hmm.
or just going in. If you go in on the Mirana or the Bane and you get the silence on them, both of those heroes are just dead to rights. Nothing that they can really do. So it does seem like a really nice Void Spirit pickup.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. Wait out the final bans now. We can see how both drafts are intending to end here. RNG, they get rid of the LC for JT this game,
Okay.
which is intriguing, right? Because LC didn't. I mean, unless this last pickup's going to be something that is high mobility, I wouldn't have expected the LC pick.
I think they're looking at it from the angles of one, the dispel would be really annoying for our
Right.
lineup because we're super reliant on
10
arrow and
seconds
fiend's grip
remaining.
and spear to get
Right.
any kills. So if they had the dispel,
5
that would be super
seconds
annoying.
remaining.
And it's a hero that can potentially kill the Tide
Red
without
team
him
pick.
getting his Ravage off. So I think that's the other angle to look at that LC ban. But
Would it be too
IG.
would it be too crazy to say like if they can't go the LC route with press the attack? Is it too crazy to say Abaddon could be potentially
Look, I could see it this game. They would
right?
have some pretty insane healing at that point as well, with the
10
shield,
seconds
the
remaining.
heals, the living armor, the sunray. I think it would be very
5
very
seconds
difficult for.
remaining.
I'm wondering if
RNG
they've
is
given,
preparing to
if
pick.
RNG have given IG ideas here, but no, they're just gonna go for the death prophet. So
Hmm.
maybe just void spirit in the side lane. Death prophet now going to be your pos 2, but another silence that is looking really annoying for Tide in this situation. Does seem like IG they've got some concepts against this Tide
10
Hunter. I
seconds
think we
remaining.
might be seeing those put to great use this game.
Is
5
DP as strong
seconds
as she
remaining.
used to be though? Like I swear, a month ago, every single draft meant a first ban DP. Like, DP just never made it. And now it feels like it just always makes it in. Like, nobody cares about her anymore. And I don't know. I just question whether DP is still, like, relevant.
I think the priorities have shifted a little bit. I would also say that in general, we have moved away a little bit from defensive supports. And as a result, Death Prophet just looks a whole lot less good. If you've got defensive supports, then I think DP can look ridiculous because all you need is just a little bit more survivability on this hero. And she can really go crazy. So I think this game, even just with a little bit of help from the living armor, it should be all right. And RNG with the anti-mage as the last grab.
Yeah, that's 10 seconds remaining. Not what I was quite expecting either. It was...
Yeah. It is kind of in that vein that I was just talking about of like, okay, right, they're trying to pick whatever their most comfortable like big 1v5 hero is.
Right.
But we'll see how it works out this game. There isn't there's good lockdown for him, but there isn't necessarily the best catch, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you get one disable on him, then sure, you can follow it up with a remnant or another silence or the overgrowth or something, but there isn't really the easiest way to actually initiate onto him, especially once he gets Manta. At that point, it's pretty free for AM to just move around. But I have to say I do quite like the IG draft here, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn myself. I don't know what's going on here with RNG. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the draft being like, is this AM going to be good? Like, not that Monet's not going to play it well, but is this a good pick into the picks that IG have? And you talked about it quite a bit. Like, if they can catch him out with one disable, he kind of falls apart. If they don't, they don't. We'll find out how it all pans out. As IG, they are one win away from taking this best of 3 series altogether.
Yep.
Of course, RNG don't want to allow that to happen if they can avoid it completely, and I'm sure they intend to try and win this game to the best of their potential here. It's a matter of whether this AM is going to pay off.
And of course, the winner of this series is moving straight on into the playoffs, right?
Oh.
Out of this group. This is the winners match.
You are correct. Thank you for that, Basskip.
Yeah, so it's a pretty important one, of course. Loser is still going to have a chance at the run back, and I think based on the opening matches, we are probably expecting to see both of these two teams making it through the group. But of course, you want to take the path of least resistance. So definitely wanting to get this win here.
They've grouped up quite a few heroes here for IG up at that top lane. They might try for something very early on. Because Ollie should be able to scan out Flywind, does give him a bit of a punch, and now the Nature's Grasp, but Arrow does fly in from September, and that should save Flywind. Of course, Fly will have to be a little bit wary of how much harass he takes on that Spectre, but now Emo's going to show up as well on the Void Spirit. September should have spotted that out, but now we'll spot out another 3 heroes, and IG, they're not going to find a kill, but they definitely get a fair bit of harass out.
Yeah, Setsu's also coming over now, so it's a 4v4 for this top bounty.
I love it. Super. I mean, I wouldn't recommend walking onto that high ground like that. He's in a bit of trouble, but a nice spear. In fact, no, Ollie, he goes into the Roshan pit. Super's still probably going to die here, and Fire Spirit does connect as he tick out. He does. Kaka will claim the first blood. And you know, Basskip, I thought the spear was meant to latch him onto the wall of the Roshan pit, not...
No, the walls of the Roshan pit don't interact with spear at all. It's really confusing. But okay. Yeah, I see it happen all the time in pro games as well, where people are like, "Oh yeah, I'll just spear him to this. Wait a second," and it's and there you go. Also, I think the only thing going through Super's mind as he dies there is, "Man, I wish I had a fairy fire."
Absolutely. He did not, however, and yeah, no. He does go down. Still, laning stage has started. I'm looking at that mid lane right now with Setsu versing Emo once again. I kind of wonder, like, the Mars mid, we've seen this before. Is this favorable for the Mars, or is Emo going to be alright here?
I imagine that this is probably pretty good for the Void Spirit, just because you've got the, you've got the Resonant Pulse shield coming up. I feel like there's a little more pressure on the Mars to rotate and kind of make plays. Of course, Emo's going to want to do the same on the Void Spirit, but I think he's also under just a little bit less pressure this game to make the plays. He could play a little more farmy if he wanted to.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like, you've got the Spectre anyway that you're going to be relying on, so you can take your time, that's for sure. Of course, Ollie and Fly are up at that top lane, up against Flywind and September. Can be an annoying lane here, but September, he's taking a lot of harass. Throws out an arrow, misses out on Ollie, however. And they will force a salve usage out of the tree and Protector. But in terms of slowing down this Spectre at all, so far, Fly is just fine.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I can't imagine that this is going to be all that fun of a lane for them. Double melee against the Tide. And September does have access to this big camp at the moment, but for now just seems to be arrowing it up and getting a little bit of extra experience early on.
Another grasp comes down onto Flywind, but they'll just get a few hits in, back off. Have a look at the last lane, I suppose. Monet is going to be there with Super, and you have Kaka and JT there on that offlane DP. So the offlane DP, I've seen JT run this before to mixed results, if I am remembering correctly here, and I don't believe they're going to be able to slow down Monet either, in all fairness. In fact, Monet's the one being aggressive.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the best pressure lane to really go up against the AM, but I think maybe the biggest thing that they're looking for is just sort of the team fight and pushing presence from the Death Prophet and the silence potentially against the Tide.
Okay. Setsu is still doing pretty well in that mid as well, up against Emo, though Emo is top of the last hits board right now, and it's kind of like you said, Emo's just having a great old time. This is one of those matchups as well where the power runes are so much more important, right? Like that first 4-minute power rune is going to be a real big value for either opponent.
Yeah, they've both got bottle already as well, so we'll see. I don't know if there's any real movement happening just yet for the supports to try and come over and contest. So might just be whoever's got the lane shoved out and gets lucky, to be honest.
So far, it's Emo. See if the luck pays off for him, though. Setsu doesn't really have boots, neither does Emo, of course, but they're going to try and gamble here. One top, one bot, but it is top. Setsu will get a double damage for himself, and Emo
chat wheels
laughs.
come out.
He knows he's... Does that kind of make him lose the lane now?
It's definitely going to be tough for the next few waves, especially in this kind of double melee matchup where Setsu should be able to get pretty much every last hit and then a bunch of denies. And September is also lurking around here, so gotta be careful.
Every mid player I've ever known at one stage of their lives has said, in fact, hold that thought, arrow, nicely juked out by Emo. But every mid player I've ever known has said, I was winning the lane until they got a double damage. And then it's just gone.
Yeah, and it's not only the DD, right? It's also that he gets the bottle refill.
Of course.
He gets to just keep on spamming his spells, so that's pretty nasty.
It's gonna be annoying here. So Emo, he'll go take the bounty rune for himself now. Because every other lane has still been rather passive. We haven't seen any more kills coming out from either side yet. I do believe they'll just be waiting on those mid laners to start making those rotations happen. So that you just don't really seem to have any kind of setup here to kill anyone off in either lane unless you actually have that added hero coming in. But both of them seem pretty set on just chilling out to at least, of course, level 6. And Setsu's going to be the one to hit that 6 mark first, so perhaps he could try onto Emo, but you can actually step out of the arena though, so there's probably no point.
Yeah, well, he also knows that Emo has the point in Dissimulate, so...
Sure.
It's not going to be the easiest to get this kill. Maybe if they start it with a Nightmare.
Could be the one. There's September rotating over for the arrow as well. However, what a TP coming in. What timing is that from Kaka? Blocks the arrow for his teammate. Unfortunately for IG, September does get the Arcane rune for himself and bottles that up. So that's another rune that Emo would have loved but can't have. But at least Emo doesn't die.
Yeah, and I think there was a good chance that he dies there if they land there. They're trying to go on Setsu now.
They are. Arena will be dropped. Spear onto Emo. Kaka falling very low. He's still going to just make a chase down with those Fire Spirits, but ultimately we'll go after the Courier as well. Setsu trying to turn around and punish him for that, but didn't have anything off cooldown, so couldn't really do anything. And now, Emo jumping in, haunting straight away from Fly as well. Just comes in and haunts back out. Just a bit of a drive-by here from the Spectre. Bot lane.
Just checking out if you could maybe secure the kill.
JT ends up dying. That's a big one. Monet, be a little careful here, but he can always just blink out if he gets in trouble. And well, JT going down on the DP, RNG might be pretty okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think they mind. Nice to get some more farm going on their anti-mage. And it's not like the Spectre got the last hit on the mid kill, but it does seem like both mid laners more than ready to make a TP rotation, though. For now, both of them on cooldown, so everyone's kind of able to chill a little bit more on the side lanes and not have to worry too much about these high-level heroes. There are some really nice wards from the RNG side, just kind of keeping tabs on all of the movements over on the side of IG currently.
That there are. Literally the whole river is just all being seen here from RNG and IG. Still looking to set up here at the bot lane, it seems, but mid lane, Emo could be in trouble. Another rotation out from September. He's trying for that top bounty rune, but it will be bot now. Oh,
never lucky for Emo.
Oh. At least Kaka
right.
does steal it away, so great dive from him. September does connect the arrow, but I don't believe they'll be able to secure this kill unless Super. He doesn't have the Fiend's Grip, but September just chasing him down with that Brain Sap added on. They can't finish the kill, but they do harass him out quite a lot, and looks like they just take control of this this dire triangle for a bit. As bot lane, Monet jumping in with the Mana Void gets JT again. Now Super, gonna rotate in. Ollie should be alright on this tree, and he just keeps running in the tree line. Gets a tier 1 hitting him, but well, maybe he won't be okay. September's here now. Arrow flies through. Another tower hit to fly out. Monet's still chasing him down. Ollie, Starfall. He will go down. Monet just dedicated to get this kill.
I mean, it took them a little while, but your anti-mage already has a killing spree, so I think RNG going to be very happy with the way that things are currently playing out. JT has opted for the Necrobook here on the Death Prophet.
He has. Of course, we see Setsu killing off Kaka just by himself, but I was actually going to ask you about that. That's something I haven't seen yet, the DP Necrobook. I wasn't quite aware that she needed it.
I think the thing with the Necrobook currently is that everyone's just buying it as a farming item, right? Sure, some people have better synergy with it, with auras and whatnot, but you look at the Tide Hunter as well, right? Is Tide Necrobook a big thing? Maybe the Tide Necro makes a little more sense because he's got the Gush, so you've at least got some kind of buff or debuff that you can be providing. But I think this game for JT, it's strictly just, hey, it's a good farming item. This is the go-to for every offlaner currently.
Emo rotating in, does go after Super, and this should be an easy kill, but Nightmare comes out still with the Astral Step magic damage. He does secure the kill. Looks like he'll go back and bottle up some bounty runes for himself, and that'll put him in a position to just keep going if he wants to keep ganking up. I think IG kind of require him to do that almost. Like, it's just Monet really, who's been perhaps farming way too well in this AM. He'll TP up top and join the rest of his team.
So this is a pretty natural, pretty normal rotation.
Fly. His TP got cancelled by September while he was trying to TP down bot. He'll be okay, but he can't join his team to take down that tier 1, but I guess they don't need it anyway. They've got it.
Well, it's kind of painful because this is, if you switch it over to the Dire Vision, this is supposed to be his pocket of farm currently, right? He was supposed to TP down here. It's not even really about getting the tower kill, but this has really been completely set up for the Spectre to just be farming between the triangle and the Radiant jungle. So this is going to slow him down a little bit as he just kind of has to farm his way over into that same spot.
It's problematic. Of course, for RNG, they are very happy with this this turn of events, and they'll just keep farming up on Monet. He's just continuously working towards that Battle Fury and does maintain the net worth lead. Closely followed by Setsu, by the way, on that Mars, who is currently just holding 1.4k worth of gold and hasn't quite queued anything. No, never mind. There's that blink coming out.
Yeah, so...
Mid lane.
Making it go on super.
Yeah. Egg being dropped as well, just in case. And that's super. He is dead. They do have Exorcism still up, and they're going to pop it straight away to go after this tier 1 mid tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Glyph coming in, so that's just going to hold it off a little bit.
Looks like JT's pretty committed, however. He wants to keep going, and that'll force the rotations in. Aether Remnant will be taken by a creep. Arrow as well being kind of whiffed there by the Mirana, but it was a hard arrow to start with. And well, the Exorcism, it really only got a few hits off, and they kind of have to back off now. This DP just... It's going to have to wait another 2 minutes to have this off cooldown.
And with that, RNG going to come back in, take a little bit of control back over their side of the map, though there are still some nice dire observer wards down. And might even be a little bit of a false sense of security in their own jungle for RNG currently, given that they've got 2 sentries in the area, but haven't found the D ward successfully.
We'll see if IG is able to capitalize on that later on. Top lane. Try to make the jump onto Monet, but you just don't have the lockdown unless you commit overgrowth. Which
I think this is just like, you can't farm here pressure. It's not really anything else. They know that the rest of the team is not sitting behind Monet currently, so they can kind of force him out a little bit. Though if Fly dies here to the Fiend's Grip, that would be pretty nasty. And
he just may. Super is going to be able to get it off. The TPs are coming in, but Setsu's down with the Arena of Blood as well. They just leave him there. They know he's going to die eventually. Ollie, well, he came to help out, but there's not much he can do right now. And well, they're going to try and follow up with another kill. Setsu getting caught there on the Mars. Egg being committed once again, and they do at least get a trade. But a Mars for that position 1 Spectre, you'd argue whether it's worth, and well, maybe if they get this pos for Mirana, you could make the argument. Sunray going to be there with the silence out from JT, and they do get September as well.
Yeah, not the cleanest disengage at all from RNG. I really thought that they would be able to get that kill and get out pretty cleanly. But at least the anti-mage is still farming. There is at least some good news going for RNG.
That AM's, it just feels like it's going to be such a massive problem later on. It's the same thing we see every time with AMs. You get the Battle Fury and then you just start splitting the map up. It just seems like you can never catch him.
Yeah, I guess the only thing to already be thinking about, and maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but the fact that, sure, maybe the anti-mage is going to get huge, but it does still kind of feel like the Spectre is going to be the biggest hero in the later stages. Of course, we got a lot of game to play before we get there, but there is still kind of this timing that RNG are going to have to hit around that 3-4 item mark for the anti-mage, where that's where their lineup really peaks, and I feel like we don't necessarily have the same thing for IG.
Absolutely. There's that Battle Fury as well. Monet now going to be able to really escalate his farm. It's like Emo was trying to go after Super there on that Bane as well, but couldn't quite connect with the Aether Remnant. Just lets him go. I'm not sure about this, right? Like, you've got this Void Spirit. I know previously we kind of talked about it and said he can kind of just chill out and farm up as well and just have faith later on that he'll be effective. He's got the Yules up now, and this is the point where you kind of want to see those rotations happening.
Empty arena at bottom. Setsu was just hoping to catch out JT, but just a little bit off the mark. Didn't quite see exactly where he went in on the tree line.
Uh-oh.
But look, I still think it's fine for Emo to be chilling. because again, once the big reason that I keep talking about, I think IG are so favored in later stages, as we do have a bit of a go.
Yeah, 8th Remnant gonna latch on. And well, this Mirana with the silence can't survive, but I believe you were gonna refer to the Aghanim Scepter of the Void.
Yeah, well, it's the Ags and just the general team fight from IG. Like, eventually, I feel like the Mirana and the Bane just stop being heroes this game. Like, the Haunt gets popped, the Haunt gives vision for the Void Spirit to go on you, you're both gonna die. There's just nothing that you can, there's no real counterplay for them.
8th Remnant gonna latch on again. Horon Super getting caught out there on the Bane, and with this Sun Ray damage flying in as well, Emo's able to secure a very easy kill for himself. And you know, as I say that, he starts getting extremely active now, especially with this Arcane Room, jumping back in, getting another Remnant off onto Setsu, but now you've got that Tide there. Flywind does have Ravage, but doesn't really have mana. Still, they should be able to get Kaka regardless, as he also just had no way of escaping. But, IG, I think you're still okay with that. You're just finding multiple kills here with this Void Spirit.
Yeah, 2-for-1 supports, fight on the enemy side of the map. They got rid of the tower mid as well with the exorcisms, so definitely have to be quite happy with how that all played out.
But they will be. And there's that Diffusal as well now, coming on to Fly. He may be willing to fight. In fact, mid lane, they are haunting in straight after this Mars, and Setsu does die, and now they'd love to go after September, who has no leaps left. Emo still making the chase, waiting for that 8th Remnant. It will latch on just barely, and JT will secure a double. Now Flywind comes in. Yes, still have that Ravage. They'll commit the Fiend's Grip with the Ravage now, connecting all 5 heroes, and with the Mana Void. It's a lot of damage just popped off there from Benet, but they turn around with the Overgrowth. But what are they going to do with it? Ollie? Maybe a bit optimistic to try and go for that, and the RNG, they'll punish him for it.
No, they just wanted to get the Overgrowth plus Egg off, but he dove into the Ravage and then just died to like Anchor Smash and 1 auto attack. So not what they were hoping for.
They're jumping in. They got the silence on Monet. It's a lot of damage, but the arrow connects after the Dissimulate. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. They do kill off the AM. Now Flywind going to be in trouble. JT just chasing him down. Gets the Yules off onto Setsu, but still is in that arena. He will also die. Now Fly TP's in, but he realizes he can't go for these kills by himself. And, he'll just take a backseat and keep farming up.
Still, though, that was a sick Yules, and they got the Anti-Mage, so anything to slow him down, your Spectre's going to respawn and be able to farm up a little bit. And the Tide, I mean, this is a very different game, I think, from the previous one, and there just isn't as much available farm on the map, just because your Mirana is soaking a lot, your Mars, and of course your Anti-Mage are taking a lot off the map. This is not the JT Tide that we saw in the previous game with #1 on net worth, and doesn't really. I don't know if Flywind's going to have the same kind of scaling potential this game.
I asked the same question myself. See soon enough. Setsu. He's been having a pretty rough game himself on that Mars, I've got to say. Just not really. I mean, he gets some arenas off and gets some decent spears off, but he's been controlled rather well. These team fights, and really just gets bursted down so quick by the side of IG. In fact, Emo almost copped an arrow there. Nice to simulate.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pops up on the other side, just goes right back to capturing, but it does. Actually, they do what they just snagged it in time.
Gosh, top lane with the arena. Ollie does go down, so Setsu just committing the arena in that tree line because he knew the tree was there, but now a Haunt. Where are they going? They got the AM, the 8th Remnant with a nice Nightmare out from Super, buying time. They will still get Super, but that main target they wanted will be able to get away.
Yeah, it's really nice. And there's even a little stack here for Monet, so as soon as he clears this, he's going to have his Manta Style. So very big power spike for him, and like we were saying, that should kind of be the end of Anti-Mage dying, unless we get some like crazy commitment or happens to get silenced after Manta or something like that.
Interestingly enough as well, I thought that Emo would definitely go for the Axis game, but so far he's just going for the Desolator. So
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm a huge fan
Are scanning.
necessarily. Maybe he'll go back for it after the
Yeah,
Deso.
probably. Maybe he just feels like he needs that kind of right-click damage here with his team.
This is not the sneakiest smoke when you've got the ghost. Still just, like I don't really know what IG are hoping for here.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I was kind
They
of
wanted to find the AM, but
yeah, but you had the ghost guy. Like, what do you?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Dire's
Whatever.
bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe it's just one of those simple kind of.
I'm pretty sure they show up, right? It's not like the ghosts
I
go
was-
invis or anything like that.
I was under that impression they would. They don't look like
Yeah.
they get smoked up or anything. So who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe we'll learn something today. Mid tier 1.
Tower is under
Gonna go down now. RNG just take a very easy tier 1 tower, and of course it's an AM game. He'll just go back to the triangle and keep farming up. And IG are gonna do the exact same thing on Fly, who I believe is still working towards his own mantra. In fact, never mind. No, he isn't. He's just got a casual Yasha up.
Okay, well, for now, it hasn't queued up anything else, right? So.
No.
And he bought the defusal before he went for the Yasha, so I'm not sure if he'll really opt for anything different. We do have the 10-second BKB ready to go on Datsu, and I think JT just kind of poking, prodding, see if he can get some kind of a reaction there, throwing out the silence, but I don't think Setsu's going to panic.
No, definitely won't.
Dire's top tower is under
And
attack.
I don't think Emo wants to do anything until he finishes the Deso, because he's quite close to it. So...
They're going to go top lane. Nice spear out from Setsu. Straight on that Phoenix. And, well, now Emo's going to jump in. Trying to turn this one around. They haunt in as well. A double silence coming out. You don't have that mantra up right now. He used it already. But there's the Nightmare out from Super. And now the Fiend's Grip. They catch out Emo, but that's cancelled off by the Yules. And that's going to mean Super is probably going to die. But they actually ignore him completely. They want to go after the backlines. But the Moonlight Shadow kept everyone safe. Now Flyone hoping he could get a big Ravage off and turn the team fight again. Can't quite get it off, but they don't lose anyone. The Bane walks out.
Yeah, I think Oli would have been carrying a Dust if not for the fact that he just got his Blink Dagger. Like, he just got the Blink Dagger money, so... because of that. They are being pretty greedy on their supports. I don't know if we've talked about it just yet, but they have picked up this Midas on the Phoenix. So Kaka really just playing for the levels. I guess he didn't really feel like there was any other item that he really, that was really all that useful otherwise. So,
Okay. Definitely not something I've seen in a very long time, that Phoenix Midas, but we'll see if it pays off for him. And maybe the game really just lasts that long, that he'll have maximum value. Roshan's being taken right now by RNG and IG, either unaware or just don't feel like they can do anything without Horn. Just leave it.
Radiant's bottom tower is
yeah,
under attack.
IG really needs to get a bit more of a foothold back on the Radiant jungle. I think so. They invested two wards over towards the Radiant Tricamp, which I think they were hoping to use to invade and like kill the anti-mage, but because they used those two wards there, they didn't really have any ward control over the Radiant jungle, and that's made it kind of hard for any of their heroes to farm down here, and it has led to them kind of getting pressured in into their base pretty heavily.
There was a smoke in an arena thrown out on Emo, but he just assimilated out of it. Still, the rest of RNG is still trying to chase for somebody to pick off, and they found Kaka, but he's going to Icarus dive, still super. Can't get in range for the Fiend's Grip, so Kaka going to Sunray up through the map.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's always kind of just been ridiculous, the fact that he can do that.
Yeah, it's a little silly. I was playing Pango the other day, and I shield crashed out of the map during Rolling Thunder and just got stuck there.
What?
That was really fun. Turns out, like over here in the Dire base, you can like jump out of the map,
Bottom tower
and then I couldn't jump back in either, so my whole ulti duration got wasted. It was great.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Fly getting
happened.
caught out. Silence is going to be there from JT, but they got the arrow off anyway. So, Fly, you don't really want to die like that, but that's a big kill there for RNG.
This anti-mage is just getting absolutely huge with all the space on the map. Even being pretty safe. Monet going back for a BKB here. I think just to ensure that he can maybe blink and just hit the egg, or not have to worry about the silence and stuff as much.
That's fair enough. But I look at his farm and you look back at Fly's farm, it's not even really comparable. Like, Monet's 5k ahead right now on that AM. Even more so, and it's only going to get worse and worse. Like, I wonder if Fly can actually keep up here on that Spectre.
Yeah, I am a little interested that we haven't seen the Radiance be the choice at all, because I do think that really keeps your farm going a lot. And it does seem like IG kind of, they're thinking about taking some kind of fight here.
They haunt in. Super gonna be the first target. They just try and blow him up. There's the egg being dropped right in the middle, but the Ravage is out. Flywin hit pretty much everybody. Now the arena is there. JT's trying to fight back with the Exorcism. It's a 1-for-2 trade thus far. And RNG, they look pretty confident in maybe keeping going. In fact, never mind. They blink out. Flywin's been left alone. He will be the third to go down for the side of RNG. I didn't really think that would go that way, but IG, they made it work.
Yeah, I'm with you. I saw, again, we can't get this egg overgrowth combo going. This time around, it's the Treant blinking into the Ravage, and the egg dies before the overgrowth even comes out. But after that, especially with the two supports just getting cleaned up, I think that's by far the most important thing, is that the Bane just gets off 0 spells, right? They haunt, they get the vision on him, and then Void Spirit gets the initial disable onto the Bane, leaves him for dead, and then goes chasing after the Mirana for the rest of the fight, and just kind of difficult at that point for RNG to get all that much going.
But still, to this point, I mean, you've said this, but we really haven't seen Overgrowth Egg together.
No.
Like, that egg was just a straight dive into the, well, hold that thought, because the mid lane, Emo was in a bit of trouble there. Arena was committed, and now Monet trying to go after that Mana Void, but doesn't quite get it off. Now going back after Emo, does secure the kill. Now turns around onto Kaka on that Phoenix, and Kaka is gonna die. In fact, they want more. They found JT. He gets ulted up. Arrow is there. He does pop the BKB in time, and Fiend's Grip was also cancelled by the silence that came out. Bit unfortunate for Super. Monet has to be a little bit careful, but now he wants to go after the Spectre. A great spear back into the tree from Setsu, get him off that high ground. Fly, Overgrowth's going to help him out. Now the buyback's flying out as well from IG. They want to keep fighting this and turn this around. Monet's very low, but not quite low enough. He'll go back after Emo and try to secure the dieback, but he will lose the Aegis. Now the egg to come out, but they can't overgrow. It's been used up, but it won't be necessary anyway. They hold him down with the Aether Remnant. BKB out from Monet. Still just fighting back, but eventually will be forced to blink out. IG still wanting to chase down and punish the side of RNG, and it looks like they do at least find Super again, but he'll just use that Ghost Scepter. So now we see a Horn coming out. Back onto Monet, but he'll blink out of there. They can't really hold him down.
Yeah, even with the egg stun hitting, it goes to show it was the right decision for Monet to pick up that BKB. Otherwise, he would have 100% died there. But still, pretty scary for RNG. The Aegis was about to get reclaimed anyway, and this does just kind of slow down the game a little bit more. It's not quite pushing Anti-Mage past his peak. He's still, of course, got room to grow, but nice turnaround from IG. And I still think their fights become so much harder once this Void Spirit Ags comes up, and he does have it queued up.
Oh, absolutely. Like, regardless of the AM, everyone else is going to suffer quite a bit with that Aghanim Scepter. See how it all pans out. RNG, they're still in the lead here. 5k net worth lead so far. Did have a slight dip after that last engagement, but nothing to write home about. And now Flywin's got a blink coming out on that Tidehunter, so you've kind of got this really scary guaranteed initiation here from Flywin, and they're going to smoke up straight away.
I got a tiny lingering bit of vision up in this dire tri-camp area. They do see Emo pushing out bottom, so I think maybe going to quickly check and see if there's anybody behind him. Maybe they could get a free Nightmare into to kill, but IG being very defensive, just defending their high ground and letting the Void Spirit push out these lanes.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Nice astral step out from Emo. He should be alright down at that bot lane, and he'll be fine to TP as... Well, Setsu kind of blinked as well, but he got trapped in the tree line.
Dire's top
So he
tower
couldn't actually
is
go
under
for the blind spear. And, Flywood will just show the blink now. Just screw it, I'll just show the other team what I have. It's, something for IG to definitely watch out for, though. That blink ravage.
Yeah, these next couple of fights are, well, I want to say that a lot of it comes down to vision, but you know, Haunt is a little bit of a I win button when it comes to the vision game. But you can see what RNG are trying to do, just making sure that they're set up underneath wards, and if they can, you know, manage to just continue to hold on to this dire tri-camp area. Yeah, so they hold on to it for a second, and they're just going to go and force IG out of their own jungle. And now the cycle begins of RNG just kind of controlling the map for a while and building up a pretty big lead if IG can't break out of this hold. But I think they're just waiting for their Void Spirit Eggs. You know, they're giving them all the farm that is arriving at the base.
Do they get anything here, IG? They've smoked up.
are scanning.
They're going to try and get some kind of advantageous team fight for themselves. Monet going to run straight in, breaking Fly smoke. A silence out from JT straight off the bat.
They still don't have the eggs just yet. Emo's running for it. All right, there you go. They've got it picked up. And he's got the Orb of Destruction as well. So whoever he hits with these Astral Steps is going to take a lot of damage, especially from the Exorcism.
Absolutely. Now they jump in, but what a ravage coming up from Flywood. And now they just look to burst them down, although Overgrowth is out. JT still alive. Fly, very, very low, will go down. They're still trying to jump the backlines. They do finally take down Super. Super will buy back, however. They want to keep fighting a great arena now. Coming out from Setsu. That will catch 2 and JT. He will die. Emo's still on the run. And, well, he's been bashed up. He's gone. And
GG.
all right. It's just, we know we lost. Screw it.
All right.
Just call it.
Well, what do we know? Tidehunter's 2-0 so far.
Whoa.
Maybe this hero is the truth.
Sorry about that, but so what's happened is my game's crashed now, by the way, Basskip.
Okay.
Luckily at the end of the game. I apologize about the black screen. It's a beta game, right? We can't expect too much, right? It hasn't been that long since the game's been out, and I'll reconnect to the game. It is MLP Dota, it is Basskip. We'll see you all again in about 10 minutes for the third game of this best of 3 series. See you soon.